The gunshots still echoed in her ears when Lorenzo pulled her tighter behind the stone wall, his hand instinctively going to the gun holstered at his side. The garden, which only moments ago had been filled with the soft hum of night, was now a canvas of silence. Amelia's breath came fast, sharp, clouding in the cold air. She wasn't used to this kind of danger being so close. She'd grown up with whispered threats, the idea of enemies out there somewhere, but this was different. This was here. Now Lorenzo's eyes swept across the shadows with the focus of a predator, his body angled between her and whatever was coming. She hated that it made her feel both irritated and safe. She didn't want to rely on him, but she didn't exactly want to die either. "Who are they?" she whispered again, her voice trembling despite her best efforts. "I said quiet," he hissed, though not unkindly. His hand slid up to press against her shoulder, as if anchoring her in place. It was warm, steady, the only solid thing in the spinning chaos around them. Shouting erupted near the gate. Flashlights swept over the hedges, and a second gunshot cracked through the night, followed by a curse in Italian. Lorenzo peered around the wall, jaw tightening. "They're testing the perimeter," he muttered. "Cowards. They won't breach tonight. Just making noise." "Testing," Amelia repeated, incredulous. "This is their idea of testing." "Welcome to my world, princess," he said, with a sideways glance that carried that trademark infuriating smirk. Even here, even now. She wanted to smack it off his face. She also wanted to keep looking at it. Men from both families fanned out across the grounds, armed and alert. The attackers, whoever they were, had already melted back into the darkness. Lorenzo gave a sharp whistle, and one of his men approached. "Patrol in pairs," he ordered, "no one alone, and lock down the north fence." As the man hurried off, Amelia straightened her back. "I'm not going inside," she said. Lorenzo turned to her slowly. "Excuse me," I said. "I'm not going inside. You're not leaving me locked in some room like a scared child while everyone else deals with this." His brows shot up, and then of course he grinned. "You really are impossible, and you're really annoying," she shot back. For a second, the tension cracked just enough for them both to breathe. Then his grin softened into something else. "Fine," he said, "but you stay close. No heroics. If you get shot, I'm not carrying you in those heels." "Good," she replied coolly. "I wouldn't want you touching me anyway." He laughed under his breath, the sound unexpectedly genuine. "Liar." They moved together toward the house, flanked by guards. Inside, the atmosphere was electric. Men crowded the main hall, communicating in low, urgent tones. Antonio barked orders like a commander at war. Amelia stood a little apart, taking it all in, the sharp smell of gun oil, the metallic taste of fear in the air. And in the middle of it all was Lorenzo, striding through the chaos like he belonged to it. She watched him give orders, calm and sharp, the smirk gone now. He wasn't just the flirty, arrogant man who got under her skin. This was someone dangerous. Someone who knew exactly what he was doing, and for reasons she didn't want to admit, that unsettled her more than the gunshots. When the situation finally settled a bit, Lorenzo approached her. "You're shaking again," he said softly. "I'm not," she lied automatically. He didn't argue. Instead, he slipped his jacket off and draped it over her shoulders in one smooth motion. She stiffened, instinctively, ready to protest. But the weight of it, warm, smelling faintly of cologne and gunpowder, made her stop. "It's temporary," he said, almost teasing. "Don't get attached." She rolled her eyes, as if, but when he turned away to talk to someone else, she found her fingers clutching the lapels just a little tighter. Hours bled into the night. Security was tightened, routes reinforced, families reassured. The attack had been more of a warning than an actual strike, but it rattled everyone. By the time Lorenzo returned to check on her, exhaustion had crept into the edges of her posture. "Come on," he said, jerking his head toward the stairs. "You're not sleeping down here with the sharks." "I'm not sleeping at all," she muttered. He smirked. "Then you can watch me sleep. I'm charming, even unconscious." She stared at him. "You're insufferable. And yet," he said lightly, "you're still here." He led her upstairs to one of the guest rooms near his. The hallway was quiet now, dimly lit. As they reached the door, she hesitated. "Why are you being—" She trailed off, struggling for the right word. "Nice," he offered, with exaggerated innocence. "I was going to say tolerable." He chuckled, leaning casually against the doorframe. "Maybe I like keeping you on your toes." She crossed her arms. "Or maybe you're scared I'll outshine you." "Oh, you already do?" he said, and for the first time there was no teasing edge to his voice, just soft honesty. It caught her off guard more than the gunshots had. She didn't know what to say, so she just looked away muttering "good night," and pushed into the room before he could see the way her cheeks flushed. "Sleep tight, princess," he called after her. She shut the door, but for the first time in years, she didn't bolt it. The night passed slowly. Outside, men patrolled with flashlights, engines idled softly at the gates. Inside, silence settled like a fragile truce. Amelia lay awake, staring at the ceiling, the weight of his jacket still over her. She told herself she hated it. She told herself she hated him. But the truth was, for the first time since this engagement began, she didn't feel completely alone. And somewhere across the hall, Lorenzo lay awake too, hands folded behind his head. A grin playing at his lips he couldn't quite explain.